Hello and welcome, dearest. I'm Grandma Mimsy, and today I seem to be encountering individuals who are having the struggle with the bread things. So, a video is apparently necessary to help y'all out with the issues some of you might be having. And the biggest thing I'm going to start off with is the sourdough starter misunderstanding. Sourdough essentially originated as a starter that everybody had across the United States in the early days of baking our own bread. And the distinctive bread we now, in the terminology, call sourdough is because of that distinct flavor that came from San Francisco. Because those who used to live in the East Coast moved towards the West Coast. They were by the water, and the elements of any bread starter is just a basic recipe ratio of 1-to-1. Don't overthink it. It's not like it has to be the exact measurements, weighed out. It's a cup of water and a cup of flour of your choice, and you put it in a jar and you have happiness. It's supposed to be kind of craggy and shaggy in that it doesn't look like it's much of anything, kind of a messy mess. You could literally just start this in a mason jar, or save your favorite jar from whatever container glass item that you wanted and put that together. It doesn't need to be a huge amount. Stir it up, stick it in your refrigerator, and when you decide you want to make bread, you have a starter. You don't really need to have this great big huge amount growing, globulating, percolating in your house. You can just leave a very small amount in the jar, the glass jar, or a zippy bag, and you have that for when you want to make bread. It is your starter. It is because the air has in it the things that are floating around that you can't see. There's already yeast and other things that in the air. So the flour and the water pick that up. So if you want to put it in a jar and put it on your countertop, put a coffee filter over it, put a rubber band around that, leave the lid on it loosely so it can catch the air. It needs to be open for a couple of days to be able to get that yeast in the air. And then you have your own starter that is for your region, and it will taste based on how your area has its own flavor. So how different honeys have different taste to them, it's because clover honey is because those bees go and catch the clover pollen and they bring it back to their hive. Other places will have other flavors, and your starter is going to do the same thing. It's going to have your area. It's going to taste the way that it does with what's going on in your area. So don't worry about it being, I'm going to mess this up, because you're not. As long as you stir it for a couple of days, keep an eye on it, as long as it's bubbly and has the bubbles that look like what you would see in beer. It has that distinctive aroma that you know smells like sourdough bread. It's just that the aroma and the flavor that we have with the twang comes from the fact that that's the air in San Francisco picks that up. So if when you're baking your bread, you follow your recipe, you put in the starter. So instead of doing the yeast and other things that you would do in your bread recipe to make your loaf of sourdough bread, if you want that zing, you can add yogurt or sour cream to the mix, and it will give you that distinctive taste. So make up a batch of bread, split it in half, do one with that it's just plain, do one that is just that you include the extra sour cream or yogurt, and Greek yogurt will probably be better because it's less watery. And if you're interested in knowing how to make your own yogurt, let me know and I'll help you out with that as well. I'll make a separate video if anybody is interested. Just leave that in the comments. But the sourdough ratio is 1-to-1. You can put it in a small jar. And the craggly stuff, because my friend Chelsea was saying in her jar, do I need to clean this down? No, don't worry about it. It's fine. But she's got this really big jar and doesn't need to be that way unless you really want to be baking out sourdough bread like multiple loaves a day. You don't need much. You put a little bit in. Next time you go to take it out, you add a little bit more back in. You just keep replacing what you're using. So it is a 1-to-1 ratio, and what you take out is what you put back in with a new batch. So it's all ready to go. Just keep adding. So if you've got a cup of water and a cup of water, it's going to grow. And when it gets to a higher amount, you're going to need a bigger container, because the concept is that they say to take out a cup and add more flour and water. You don't really need to take it out. It's just size, because typically speaking, you take out a cup, you're going to add more back in, because that cup you took out, they say discard. I think that's a waste. Use that and bake something. And if you're taking a cup out and you don't have the time to bake anything, you can freeze it. You can put it in the refrigerator to slow it down. Or if you want to start a second colony, start a different jar or zippy bag or whatever it is that you're doing. But essentially, you pull some out, you put some back. And the next day you want to make some, you pull some out and take some back. It's just a matter, you got to keep an eye on it. If it starts to smell funky, toss it, something went wrong. That's an easy thing to do. But mostly every day you're just going to look at it, stir it, keep it going. You're going to add a little bit to it. You can increase or decrease the amount. So start off with the 1 cup, but if you're not going to be using this a whole lot and you don't want it to become something that takes over your house, use half a cup water, half a cup of flour. Just keep stirring, just keep mixing. Don't worry about it. It's going to pretty much take care of it on its own. It doesn't have to be babysit. If you are going to go on vacation or not be home for a while, or you get busy, stick it in the freezer or the refrigerator. It will still stay safe. It will just slow down the production of all the things growing. It won't increase as much. But if you need to use it and you just want to leave it in the refrigerator or the freezer, in that case, that's an awesome way if you've got a really busy life and stuff happens. Just pull out what you're going to use and let it sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes to an hour before you're going to bake or start doing anything with it. Or just leave it on the counter and begin to pick up where you left off if you just want to continue in the fermentation of things. This is not a huge part of your life that needs to take over. It's a small convenience, because essentially what this does is it creates the starter that you have your own homemade starter instead of using it from the yeast and other things you buy from the store. So if you want to use a package of yeast that you buy from the store, this is the same process. You don't have to leave it open or wait for it. You just did the convenience of this. It's all ready to go. Because usually what you would have to do when you buy the store-bought yeast packets is you have to allow that to bloom. You have to allow that because it's been dehydrated. You have to give it the moisture and the time for it to come back to doing what it does. And then you can go to bake with it. But if you make your own starter and you have it ready to go, you don't have to do any extra steps or delays. You just grab what you need for your recipe and go bake. I hope that helps up any confusion on your parts of the making of the starter. And I have another one that I'm going to do right after this. That'll be something everybody's going to love. A bunch of people know about this. It does have its own cult following, but I don't think that all of the people knows about this. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm happy to help answer other questions or to help guide you along the way. And Chelsea, I look forward to seeing your first loaf of starter bread. No, excuse me. Words are hard. Yes, Grandma Mimsy says it. So you can, repeat that and use that in case you have issues. I am looking forward to seeing your first loaf of sourdough bread that you made from your very own starter. Good luck. What you got started, what you have going is a fantastic thing. When it does have the aroma of the sourdough bread, you will know it by the aroma when you go to sniff what you have got in your jar. Probably in a few days, you can pull that out, mix up another cup of water and flour, and add that to your starter. You can pull out about a half a cup to a cup, add more water and flour, and mix that all up and keep that going. You don't have to wait a whole long time if you really want to bake some bread, because I know you said you bought one because you thought you might get hungry. So depending on how many days you've got your starter ready, I'm going to say about 3 to 4 days and it'll be ready to go. So I have more hints and tricks for you to fulfill that bread bread requirement. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye.